Hey guys, SeaMonkey here, and today we're talking about a game you might have heard of or maybe have seen on the Steam store but haven't given a chance. I'm talking about Hell Let Loose. At first glance, the game is pretty unassuming and comes off as your average World War II first-person shooter. I'm here to tell you why you're wrong.
It's on a 30-second timer.
First though, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe for more video game content, and if you like this video, please drop me a like. I also stream on Twitch on Thursdays and Saturdays over at twitch.tv/cmonkey0321. At its core, Hell Let Loose is really a first-person shooter set in World War II, but at the risk of sounding cliche, it's much more than that. The game is currently multiplayer only while a full campaign is being worked on, but multiplayer gameplay is very unlike Call of Duty or Battlefield. Here's why. Each team has its own command structure and different units with special roles to help win the game. Every team has their own commander or doesn't because roles can be filled by anyone, so if someone wants to step in and play the commander, they can, but what you find is that just like real life, people don't want to take on extra responsibility, they just want to have fun. Nevertheless, the commander is more or less how you will win or lose a game. While everyone has access to a map, the commander has access to a special set of commander abilities that help turn the tide of gameplay. Need to capture a base? Set a spawn point behind enemy lines. Need to know where enemies are? Send a recon plane to fly over where you want. Is there a large volume of enemies clustered into one location? Send a bombing run right over them. The commander can do it all, but most importantly, he is in charge of making decisions for the team and helping secure victory. How does he do this? With the help of his squad leaders. Just like the commander, anyone can be a squad leader. Squad leaders will either have their own infantry team, tank crew, or recon team, and all squad leaders and the commander are put into the special command channel for voice communications. This lets the commander talk to all the squad leaders at once. The squad leaders can then pass communication down to their individual teams on the team chat. Not enough voice channels? Well, there's also a voice channel for proximity chat with your team for a total of 3 voice channels. This is really interesting because it functions similarly to a legitimate military operation, and it prevents 50 people from screaming over comms when no one can hear what's going on. So, like I was saying, squad leaders are in charge of their infantry team, tank crew, or recon team. They coordinate with their team and with other teams to capture or defend objectives, take out threats like enemy tanks, or build garrisons to give your team extra spawn points. Inside these squads, you have the common infantrymen or the like. There's several special roles to choose from, each with its own unique class traits, whether it's support that drops supplies for the team, engineers that build fortifications, or machine gunners that can lay down enormous volumes of fire to suppress the enemy's vision and accuracy. Squads collectively work together to capture or hold objectives by using all of the assets available to them. But aside from all of that, what makes Hell Let Loose a truly beautiful game is its ability to create combined arms attacks, and by only winning games when your team can truly work together. Stuff like this already exists in games like Arma, and honestly, the level of detail and complexity behind Arma probably blows this out of the water. But unlike Arma, Hell Let Loose feels a lot more accessible to the average gamer. You don't need to understand military grid reference system and the usage of a Linsatic compass just to play the game. But it does do a really nice job of making individual roles just challenging enough to feel detailed, but not so much that the game isn't fun to play. For instance, launching artillery requires you to set angles for distance, but also gives you markers on your map that tell you the exact distance and gives you blips on your HUD so you can align yourself versus trying to hold a protractor up to a paper map and determine distance. Another example would be tank crews requiring 3 people to be a fully functional piece of equipment. 1 person to drive, 1 to spot, and 1 to shoot. Another example is firing a machine gun requires you to put down a bipod on something to fire accurately. Otherwise you can hit fire less accurately, which feels a bit more honest than shouldering a 25-pound gun with 10 pounds of ammo. point is, this game is very honest and gritty. Each life you have feels, in a sense, delicate. If you take a round to the face, you die. Take a shot to the gut, you'll need a medic to provide aid to get you back in the fight. Even if you do everything right, plan your movement, stay low, you'll find yourself saying hello to a stray bullet, wildly thrown grenade, artillery round, or airstrike. Being so easy to kill means you have to play strategically versus just being really good at first-person shooters. With all that being said, this is definitely not for everyone. You're not going to help your team win the game by being the only guy that can kill enemies. And that brings me to the opposite side of this argument of why the game is so cool. Solo players and non-communicative players alike will almost certainly guarantee defeat and will probably dull your overall experience as well. Having a microphone and actually using it is a crucial part of the experience of this game. It's intentionally set up to force squad members to relay information to squad leaders, and squad leaders to share that information amongst themselves and to the commander. Without that line of communication, the team's synergy falls apart, your team will get run over, and you'll find yourself losing the game within minutes. If you don't have the confidence to speak over a mic, then commander, squad leader, tank commander, recon team leader aren't the roles for you. It's probably better to join up into an infantry squad and learn what the different roles do until you get a solid grasp for the game. This is a great spot to be in, especially if you're just interested in getting into gunfights and not much else. I mean, even as a machine gunner, your sole purpose is to shoot a ton of rounds and either kill bad guys or use your fire to blur their vision and shake their screens up a bit. Hell Let Loose, I think, finds itself in a very niche spot, and it's not the first game to attempt something of this style. But I also think it's paving the way for what the future of large-scale multiplayer shooters should or could look like. It certainly has its bugs, problems, and things to improve on for the time being, but for an early access game, and I've played a lot of these early access games, it's actually pretty polished and way too much fun. It's so easy to get immersed when running into battle and watching someone literally explode into pieces in front of you while you charge straight into the smoke and roll the dice. If you enjoy gritty, tactical gameplay, this might be the game for you. But if you're not comfortable talking to strangers or working as a team, then this probably won't suit you. These have been my thoughts on the early access title of Hell Let Loose. If you liked the video, please drop me a like or subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'm SeaMonkey, and I'll see you on the battlefield.